How's it going, guys? Vaibhav here, and over the past few years we've seen a lot of companies strive towards the next big thing in smartphone technology, and one company that stands out is Xiaomi. It's because it's been so vocal about what it's working on, whether that's wired charging technology, wireless charging technology, under-display cameras, or the actual design philosophy of what Xiaomi believes to be the next big thing. A smartphone that they did announce about 2 years ago was the Xiaomi Mi Mix Alpha, which was a phone that had a display on the front and a display on the back. It was really good to look at on video, probably also good to use in the real world, but it wasn't a consumer level product because of the flaws that the design had. And I feel like what Xiaomi announced today is going to be pretty much the same thing. What Xiaomi announced was a quad curved waterfall display smartphone concept. This thing has an 88-degree curved display on all four sides, which is apparently really cool, and what Xiaomi envisions to be the future of smartphone technology, which is essentially interacting with just a display. Now let's get the facts right. This thing is an engineering marvel, and you have to credit Xiaomi for actually going through this and making this happen. There is no real product available, but this is a concept, and Xiaomi engineers have been working really hard to make this a reality. They've defied physics basically. They've used 46 different patents on this thing to make it happen, and a lot of different engineering techniques have gone behind this to make this a reality. But it's not necessarily a new concept by any means. Let's take a look at curved displays. We've had Samsung do it in the past. They've used it, they've thrown it away, and now they don't use it that often. We've also got the Huawei Mate 40 Pro and the Huawei Mate 30 Pro, which I want to talk about. That sort of ties in with the concept that Xiaomi is going for. So the Huawei Mate 30 Pro was one of the first few smartphones to have a waterfall curved display of such an extent, and it didn't really have any power or volume buttons embedded on the smartphone, and that's exactly what Xiaomi is going for with this concept as well. There are no ports and no buttons on the smartphone as well, because that's what Xiaomi believes to be the future of smartphone technology. While all of this may sound great on paper, having you interact with things on your display without getting in the way, we all know curved displays have this very annoying feature of getting in the way of almost anything. For me, I sort of have grown to live by it, but there's a lot of people in the community that do not like curved displays. And getting back to the Huawei Mate 30 Pro, that thing didn't have the volume buttons embedded onto the side of the smartphone, which meant you had to interact with the display if you wanted to lower the volume of your device, and that thing was an absolute nightmare. So much so that Huawei understood that it was a nightmare, and the Mate 40 Pro actually has the volume buttons back to where they belong. So if Xiaomi wants to do this, they have to not only work on the hardware, which it's doing, but also work on the software capabilities of their product, because only then will you have this harmonious combination of things that Xiaomi is envisioning for the next 5 to 10 years. Another thing to point out is that even though this thing has a quad curved display, it's not really the best looking display. So what they've showcased here is basically the smartphone in a very dark environment, but if you actually sort of brighten up the image or brighten up the video, you'll be able to see that the capped corners of the smartphone don't really look good. So all four corners of the smartphone have this cap. I presume this is either plastic or metal, but that's basically to eliminate any palm touches or fake touches that Xiaomi believes could be one of the factors that may ruin the experience. And essentially, you're going back to this form factor of a smartphone that really doesn't look that great. Yes, you have that all display experience, but you've got corners that are capped by black things, and that really doesn't make sense in my opinion. So while I do appreciate the sentiment and the engineering that's gone behind this product, I don't think it's going to be a hit when it comes to mainstream usage. Number one, because people already hate curved displays, they can't wait for smartphones to go back to flat ones. And number two, Xiaomi is kind of pushing it with the whole portless and buttonless design. It's kind of making a case for it with, the notification panel now moving to the side, and that way the waterfall display could be used in that manner. Or if you want to use multiple smartphones, you could maybe use multiple smartphones simultaneously to maybe make a TV out of your smartphone. But that's about it for what I see to be a real world purpose for use. Let me know what you guys think about the concept. I don't really think it's useful for the consumers. It's definitely innovative, it's definitely interesting, but not something I can see for the future. Thanks for watching. This was Vaibhav, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.